The moment she said it, the room didn't just go quiet, it froze. I mean, let's be honest, Claire laughed, swirling her glass of wine like she was hosting some reality show instead of a family dinner. Linda has always been, well, the family embarrassment. A few people chuckled, not loudly, not proudly, but enough. Enough to make it real. I didn't react right away. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I didn't storm out like the old Linda would have. Instead, I smiled. And that was the moment everything shifted. For most of my life, I had been that Linda. The one who never quite got things right. The one who married too young and divorced too fast. The one who tried 3 different careers and never seemed to stick with any of them long enough to impress anyone. The one who showed up to family events slightly late, slightly underdressed, slightly out of sync with everyone else's polished lives. Claire, my younger cousin, was the opposite. Perfect job, perfect husband, perfect house, perfect Instagram life that looked like it had been curated by a team of professionals instead of a single human being. And she never missed a chance to remind everyone. Especially me. That dinner was supposed to be a celebration. My aunt's 60th birthday. A big, elegant gathering at a rented hall with fairy lights, catered food, and carefully arranged seating that ensured the important people sat together. I was placed at the edge. Not quite forgotten, but not exactly included. I didn't mind. I had gotten used to it. What I hadn't gotten used to was Claire's need to turn every gathering into a subtle competition. "So, Linda," she said earlier that night, leaning forward with that fake sweetness, "what are you doing these days? Still figuring things out?" A few heads turned. I could feel the setup, like a trap being gently baited. "I'm working," I said simply. "Oh, that's good," she replied, eyebrows raised in exaggerated surprise. "Doing what?" "Consulting." "Consulting," she repeated, the word stretching into something almost comedic. "That sounds vague." "It's meant to be." A couple of people laughed softly. Claire smiled, but her eyes didn't. And then came the line. The one that echoed through the room and carved itself into the evening. "She's always been the family embarrassment." I looked around. My mother stared down at her plate. My uncle cleared his throat. No one defended me. No one said, "That's not fair." Because, to them, it probably was fair. That was the role I had played for years. And people get comfortable with roles. I set my glass down carefully. The sound of it touching the table was small, but sharp. "I used to think that too," I said. Claire blinked. "Think what?" "That I was the embarrassment." There was a shift in the air, subtle, curious. I stood up, not dramatically, not angrily, just enough to make sure I was heard. "I used to think I was behind everyone, that I had somehow missed the instruction manual for life, while the rest of you were following it perfectly." Claire leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, clearly amused. "Oh, this should be good," she murmured. I ignored her. "I thought my failed marriage made me a failure," I continued. "I thought changing careers meant I was unstable. I thought not having everything figured out by 30 meant I was less." I paused. But then something interesting happened. 3 years earlier, I had hit what I thought was rock bottom. No stable job, no relationship, no clear direction. I remember sitting in my tiny apartment, surrounded by unopened bills and half-packed boxes from a move I couldn't even afford. And for the first time, I stopped pretending. I stopped trying to impress people who had already decided who I was. I stopped chasing approval that was never going to come. Instead, I asked myself one simple question. What if I stopped living for them and started living for me? "I started small," I said, my voice steady. "I took a freelance project, then another, then another." Claire checked her nails, clearly unimpressed. "I worked with startups," I continued. "Struggling businesses, people who didn't care about appearances, only results." "And," Claire cut in, "did you finally figure it out?" I turned to her, meeting her gaze fully for the first time that night. Yes, I said, I did. The truth was, I hadn't just figured it out. I had built something. Quietly. Without announcements. Without approval. Without validation from people who only respected success when it looked a certain way. I helped a company triple their revenue in 6 months, I said. Another one went from near bankruptcy to expansion in under a year. Now people were listening. Really listening. I don't post about it, I added. I don't need to, my clients know. Their results speak for me. Claire's smile faltered, just slightly. That's nice, she said, but success isn't just about work, Linda. I agree. I let that sit for a moment. Success is also about peace, I continued. About waking up without anxiety, about not needing to prove your worth at every family dinner. A couple of people shifted in their seats. Claire's expression tightened. And here's the thing, I said, my tone calm but precise. I may have been the embarrassment once, but at least I was real. The word landed harder than I expected. Real, Claire repeated, her voice sharper now. Yes, real, I said. I made mistakes. I failed publicly. I didn't hide behind perfection. Her jaw clenched. And you think I'm not real, she snapped. I tilted my head slightly. I think you're very good at performing, I said gently. The silence that followed was heavier than anything that had come before. Claire laughed, but it wasn't the same laugh from earlier. Oh, please, Linda, she said. You're just trying to sound wise because things didn't work out for you. There it was. The final attempt to push me back into the role I had outgrown. I smiled again. But this time, it wasn't defensive. It was certain. You're right, I said. She blinked. I am wise because things didn't work out for me, I continued. Because I had to rebuild. Because I had to sit with failure and figure out who I was without anyone's approval. I leaned slightly forward. And you know what I realized? No one spoke. That the real embarrassment isn't failing. I let the words hang. It's pretending you've never failed. Claire's face went still. Completely still. For the first time in her life, she didn't have a response ready. I picked up my glass again. But don't worry, I added lightly. I'm not embarrassed anymore. I took a sip. And you shouldn't be either. It must be exhausting. A soft sound escaped someone, half gasp, half laugh. The tension cracked. Not loudly, not dramatically. But enough. I sat back down. No applause, no dramatic reaction. Just a quiet shift in the room. The kind that doesn't announce itself, but changes everything. For the rest of the evening, Claire was quieter. Not completely silent. Not defeated. But different. Careful. And for the first time, she didn't direct a single comment my way. As people began to leave, my mother approached me. You didn't have to say all that, she whispered. I know, I replied. But I'm glad you did. She looked at me, really looked at me, and something softened in her expression. I didn't realize, she started, then stopped. That's okay, I said. Because it was. Outside, the air was cool. I stepped into it, breathing deeply. For years, I had imagined a moment like this. A moment where I would finally prove something. Win something. Silence the people who doubted me. But standing there, I realized something unexpected. I hadn't done it for them. I had done it for me. Claire's words hadn't broken me. They had revealed something. Not about me, but about her. About the need to label others to feel secure. About the illusion of perfection. About the quiet fear that maybe, just maybe, being perfect wasn't the same as being fulfilled. I walked to my car slowly, the night wrapping around me like a calm, steady presence. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like the outsider. I didn't feel like the one catching up. I didn't feel like the embarrassment. I felt free. A week later, I got a message. From Claire. I almost didn't open it. But curiosity won. Hey, about the other night, I might have gone too far. I stared at the screen for a moment. Then another message appeared. Can we talk sometime? I leaned back, considering it. The old Linda would have rushed to respond. Eager to fix things, to smooth things over, to be accepted. But I wasn't her anymore. I typed slowly. Maybe, when you're ready to be real. I hit send. And that was it. No overthinking, no second guessing. Just clarity. Because here's the truth I had learned the hard way. People will call you an embarrassment when you don't fit their expectations. They'll label you when your life doesn't follow their script. They'll laugh when you're still figuring things out. But the moment you stop trying to prove them wrong and start living on your own terms, everything changes. They don't get louder. They get quieter. And your comeback, it doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Sometimes, it's just ice cold.